In this video, we look at how to use SQL to retrieve, update, insert and delete data from multiple tables of a relational database, and how to use SQL to define a database table. A common query language for all databases is the Structured Query Language, SQL, sometimes referred to as SQL. Developed in the 1970s, this language allows for fast and efficient retrieval, deletion, and manipulation of data held in relational databases using a simple set of commands. It is primarily a declarative language, meaning it expresses what needs to be achieved as opposed to a procedural language which would express the logic of how something needs to be achieved. The full scope of SQL allows us to query data, manipulate data, define data, and control data access. In the exam, you're expected to be familiar with the following list of SQL commands shown on the screen now. So, information in databases, as you already know, is stored in records. Here is a simple Python program that opens a connection to a database and finds records within it. The important part is highlighted. This is where you will issue SQL commands to the database to find the data you want. In this case, select population from the world table where the name equals Germany. In the following examples, commands you need to know of your exam are in bold purple text. When interacting with a database via SQL, there are four main commands we're interested in. The four ones are retrieving data, that's select, amending data, update, adding data, insert, and removing data, delete. So, let's try some SQL commands. So, on the left we have the table, on the bottom we're going to have the output window, and on the right we have the SQL. So here we've got a query that says select population, so that's the field, from the table world where the name field equals Albania. So you can see there, we have gone to the world table and we've gone to the population column, and then using the name column, we've gone all the way down to Albania, looked across and retrieved the population field, so output 2821977. Simple. Let's try another one. Select name, continent, area, populations, GDP and capital from the world table where name equals Algeria. So again, we're now asking to return a lot more fields, in fact all of the fields, from the same table, but we use the name field to search down till we found Algeria and then output the name of each of the fields that we've specified in the select line. We can see the output at the bottom. As we're selecting all fields from the world table, we could also simplify the select line by using the asterisk as a wildcard. So select asterisk, select all the fields from the world table, but only where the name equals Algeria. Another useful command is like and then order by. So let's see what's going on here. We want to select the name, continent, area, populations, GDP and capital fields. So again, that's all the fields from the world table, but only where the name field is like, and then we've got capital A%. So that means we look at the name field and we look at any entries that start with a capital A followed by any sequence of characters. But that's not the only consideration. The rows and records that we select have been highlighted in that dotted outline box on the left. We've then got an and. So within that selection, and, we also need the population to be above a certain number. So we're now filtering that selection. We've done the first selection where name is like capital A, but then within that, we also need the population to be greater than a certain figure. And so we've now got a smaller section of rows. Actually, it's almost every other row. Now we know what records and information to output. We finally have a command that says order by, and that tells us the order of the output. So this is telling us to order by the name field in ascending order. We can see the output that provides down the bottom. Okay, so here a command we've introduced is OR. So we're saying select name and population, so just two fields are going to be returned this time from the world table, where the name is like A% or the name is like B%. So as you can guess here, it's very similar to before. We're going to be returning the name and population of any records as long as the name starts with a capital A followed by any characters, or it starts with a capital B followed by any characters. So difference there between and or. So here we have what's known as a nested query. We've got a select within a select. So select name from world where population is greater than, select population from world where name equals Algeria. So how do we tackle this one? Tackle the inner section first and work out what that does. So that's simple. That's select population from world where name equals Algeria. Well, if we just carry out that simple SQL command, the population of Algeria is 387,000,000. So we now know the answer to that inner select statement. We can now simplify the outer select statement. Select name from world where population is greater than 387,000,000. And we get one answer as shown in the bottom. We can also, as well as selecting data, insert data into a table via SQL. So to do this, we use the command insert into. We then write the name of the table we want to insert into, and then we list the fields in brackets separated by commas, and then we write the word values and supply each of the values separated by commas. When listing field values, strings have got to be enclosed in quotation marks. It's also possible to omit the list of fields if you wish, but you'll need to make sure you then supply all the appropriate values for a complete record and in order. So, I'm going to give you a challenge now. Write an insert command to add a new record to the world table. The only information we currently have is the name is Oz, the capital is Emerald City, and the population is 1 million citizens. Pause the video. Okay, so you should come up with insert into world, open bracket, name, comma, capital, comma, population, close brackets, then the word values, open brackets, and then we supply each of those values. We've got Oz in quotation marks because it's a string, a comma, Emerald City in quotation marks because it's a string, comma, and then the value 1 million. Doesn't need to be in quotation marks because that field is not holding a string. We can also use SQL to delete data from a table. So we say delete from and then give a table name, and then a condition that has to be met. So delete from table where a particular field name equals a given condition. Again, when listing field values, strings must be enclosed in quotation marks. So another chance for you to have a go here. Write a delete command that removes all records from the world table with a population larger than 10 million. Pause the video. Okay, so we should have had delete from world where population greater than 10 million. And you can see the result of that delete command on the table on the left. You can also update or modify the contents of a table with the update command. So here we say update and give a table name, and then we use the set command. Set a particular field name to the following value where the field name equals a given condition. And again, when listing field names, remember strings must be in quotation marks. So, for any country with a capital of Emerald City, write an update command to change their population to 2 million and the name to Wonderland. Pause the video and then unpause to see how you do. Okay, so we should have update world, set population equals 2 million, comma, name equals Wonderland, and that's in quotes because it's a string, where capital city equals Emerald City. And again, that's in quotes because it's a string. Now let's look at cross-table queries. Everything we've done so far, the data has been held in a single table. There are two ways to return data from multiple tables. The original method is to use a where statement. while the more modern method is to use a join statement. You may use either method in the exam. So, let's step through this. We've got select student.surname tutorgroup.tutorroom. So you can see the first difference here is because we're performing a query over more than one table, we have to prefix our field names with the name of the table, and then we place a dot. So student table dot surname field, tutor group table dot tutor room field, and we've highlighted those in yellow. You also see at the bottom here a really important line. This line is telling us how to link the two tables together. So we're saying we're linking student.tutorgroup and tutorgroup.tutorgroup. We're providing a primary foreign key link. This example is using the slightly older, more outdated where method, but it works perfectly fine. And then we just carry out the normal SQL command. So we're doing this from the student table where student.tutorgroup equals 10b. So you can see there on the diagrams on the left how that's querying the data and the output in the bottom right. But we can also use join, and the one you can use in the exam is the inner join. So we say inner join and then give a table name, and then we say what are we doing the inner join on? So we use the command word on, and we say tablename.field equals tablename.field in a very similar way to you saw in the previous example. Join can be used to combine data from two or more tables by specifying the common field between them. So here we have select student.surname and tutorgroup.tutorroom from the student table. We're going to inner join on tutorgroup on the student.tutorgroup field and the related tutorgroup.tutorgroup field, because they're the common link. And then we provide our standard where student.tutorgroup equals 10b. And again, you can see the output of that below. We can also delete an entire table in a database, assuming we have permission, with the drop command. This one's really simple. It's drop table, and then you give it the table name. The drop table command can be used to drop or delete an existing table from a relational database. Now, you obviously be very careful when using this command, as it will result in the complete loss of all information stored in that table. Here you can see we've done drop table student. Okay, so SQL is far more powerful than just the commands we've shown you. With SQL, you can also define and create tables from scratch, as shown here on the left. You can add a field, delete a field, or change the data type of a field, as shown in the blue box here. And we can even set up several tables and link them using foreign keys, all via the use of SQL. Having watched this video, you should be able to answer the following key question. How do you use the main SQL commands to create, return, and delete data in a database?